Hey, Pat here from Dead Things Yard On. So I'm going to talk about something that isn't necessarily Halloween related, but it is related to pickaxe in a manner. I'll tell you about my job. I'm a rehab equipment consultant, which basically means that I get called in to the catastrophic injuries, and when and those folks who you know, the major illnesses like MS, CP, those types of things, right? CP isn't an illness, but you know what I'm saying. And so I deal with a lot of the real, well, the catastrophic cases, right? Like I tell friends, you don't want to meet me professionally, because when you meet me, your life has changed, and that's no lie. So, anyways, I'm dealing with an individual right now who is recently become a quadriplegic, and this person is also elderly as well. And the one thing that I've found from being in this business as long as I have is that it seems that younger folks actually do better when they have a catastrophic injury like a cord injury than the elderly do, and there's a reason for that. I think younger people, 20, you know, are just more resilient, and you know, after a while they just get on with the business of living, right? I mean, life just goes on. People get on with the business of living. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not being flippant about any of their the challenges that they face. I know greatly the challenges that some of my clients face, and most people with cord injuries face. You know, I'm in the inner circle, so I see it, and I'm one of the people that they come to try and get help with these things. So I'm not being flippant about that. What I'm saying though is that when somebody is in, you know, the golden years, you know, they're looking that they were just going to, they've worked hard, they've done everything right, and they're just going to go off into the sunset and enjoy their life, and all of a sudden, bang, they're a quadriplegic, you know? And that can be very, very difficult to deal with. And this person is really struggling. They're not even a year post-injury now. They're in a small community, so they're, you know, they don't have that peer group there. And to compound the issues, this individual is also legally blind, and I believe they were legally blind before the accident, but nonetheless. Now, by that, this individual can still see shapes and can still discern some distances and where a person is, but you know, they're legally blind. Now, the thing that I have also found with individuals when they get a cord injury is that self-direction is such a huge thing. I mean, you know, you're lying in a bed, you have a nurse come in, tell you when you're going to move, when they're going to turn you, when they're going to change you, when you're going to eat, when you're going to go to sleep, all these types of things, right? And when you've been self-directing for a good chunk of your life, and all of a sudden you're under someone else's care and control, no matter how well-meaning and how professional that individual is, it's very hard to stomach, you know? So, by giving a person mobility, the ability to not get up, but the ability to move in space from one place to another at will is a huge thing, huge. It changes a person's demeanor, it changes emotionally how they feel. They have taken back some of that control that has been ripped away from them. We as uprights, and that's what my group of friends calls me an upright. We as uprights can move when we want to, but when you're a quadriplegic, you are dependent upon someone else to move you. unless you have a power chair. But a power chair, by definition, not so much by definition, but it means that you have to be able to see where you are going in order to drive this chair. But how do you see where you're going if you're blind? And this, I feel, is where the pickaxe can come in. What if a person took a range sensor and mounted it onto a chair with a little piezo speaker, I think that's how you say it, piezo speaker, that gives a tone when you're 5 feet away from something, and then 2 beeps when you're 4 feet, and 3 when you're 3 feet. You know, what about something like that? This stuff is pretty inexpensive. I mean, we can get people driving with all sorts of different types of head controls, whether it be something that they push back on with their head, whether it be a proximity sensor where all they have to do is just get close to the sensor to tell the chair where to go. You know, we can give them sip and puff, where all they have to do is just blow into a tube or sip into a tube, which will tell the chair to go. So why not something like this to help get this person driving? You know? So if anybody out there, Steve, it's me to you, buddy, weigh in on this. Tell me what you think. You know, I mean, I'm sure there's legalities that are involved in this type of thing, which we as a DME would assume. You know, we have to assume it anyways. When I'm putting someone into a wheelchair, the assumption is that I have the skill set to be able to put them into a wheelchair. So, you know, anyways, that's just my thought. I was working with this person recently, and it's been kind of knocking in my brain, so I just had to throw that out there. So anyways, happier notes. Talk to you folks soon. See ya.